People always ask me how I clean my RC, so today I'm going to show you. First of all, we need to get this thing muddy, so let's go find some mud, coat the TRX4 Defender in some mud, and then I'll show you how I clean it off. Okay, we got some mud on it, but it's not quite muddy enough, is it? I'm struggling with a slipper clutch today, so I can't do second gear, so I'm only in first, hence why we're not able to chuck so much mud up. So we're gonna have to just get it even muddier, just so we can show you how we get this mud off.
Oh, nice.
Okay, I think we got it plenty muddy. Let's go find a nice big puddle. Okay, so first thing, find yourself a nice big puddle and send it through a couple of times. Okay, so it's starting to get a little bit cleaner. We can see some red. So next thing we're gonna do after I've done that, then we're gonna go find the stream, wash it off in the stream before we take it home and clean the rest of it. Okay, it's starting to look much cleaner now. We just got a load of mud still on the top. So let's get it home. Okay, so now we're home. Next thing is just to hose off all the mud that we couldn't get to in the stream. We'll wash off all the outside first, and then we'll get to the chassis. So there we go, it's looking much cleaner now, even the top roof rack and everything. So let's get the body off and do the chassis. Not too bad, to be fair. Seen worse. But yeah, let's give that a hose down and get it clean. Once it's all nice and clean, then what I tend to do is just use some paper towel or a towel, just dab it all down to get the majority of the water off, and then we'll get to the last part. Main thing is making sure you get all these areas around here by like your receiver box and everything, you know, get them all dry. Obviously the TRX4 has a sealed receiver box, which is why I just hose it all down. If you've got a rig that doesn't have a sealed receiver box, then obviously you want to make sure you waterproof that before you go hosing it, or just avoid hosing it all down. Okay, so once you've dabbed it all down, you know, the majority of it's dry. The last bit I do is I use this little GT Power like air blower. I featured this on a review before, and you know, people probably thought it was just a gimmick, but I don't get any money for this, but this is actually one of the most useful things I've been sent since doing my channel. You know, it's literally a little blower. I'll show you in a second, but it's so good for drying your rigs off. Yeah, I mean, if you've got an air gun, then obviously use an air gun, but you know, not everybody has a great big compressor and an air gun, so this thing is really handy. Check this thing out. Now the bits I especially like this for is doing all around, like, you know, your portals, all around like your drive shafts and everything, you know, where you wouldn't normally have to get in dry. You know, you can just literally just So yeah, it is just super handy. So I'm going to go over the whole rig, just doing that really quickly, get the majority of it completely dry, and then once you've done that, the last thing you could do is you could just coat some GT85 or something like that on it. I've actually stopped coating mine in GT85 because I run mine through the woods and everything so much. I didn't like the fact that I could see the GT85 coming off in the water and stuff, so you know, I'm not a fan of polluting the world and all that, so I don't use it anymore. I just basically run my rigs dry, but obviously when I service them I use like white marine grease on all the portholes and everything like that. But let's use this and get the rest of it dry, and then I'll show you what it looks like. There we go. Once you finish blasting over it, you know, it should be mostly dry. I've just given it a quick blast over. You know, you can get it as dry as you want. What I like is that you can get into all the little, you know, screw places, suspension links, your steering links, you know, all the little nooks and crannies that you wouldn't be able to get to if you were just like hand drying it. Once it's dry, you know, if your missus will let you, stick it next to the radiator in the house, or just leave it to dry in the sun. And when you're done, you end up with a nice shiny RC again, which, you know, you wouldn't know that was absolutely covered in mud like 20 minutes ago, would you know. So yeah, nice and clean. So I hope you found that useful. Drop me a comment if you've got any questions. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.